some live girl chats?
Yes, please.
They're still on their feet. They are ready.
I know, they are.
All right, every year since 1927, whoa, Time magazine has chosen a person or persons of the year to grace their cover. The choice is always someone who, for better or worse, had the greatest influence on the events of the year. Last year, they chose the Silence Breakers, the men and women who spoke out about sexual harassment and assault.
That was an amazing choice.
That was amazing. And the year before, they chose to put President Trump on the cover.
Well, dang.
Well, it's
Crickets.
almost December, which means it's time once again for Time to reveal their 2018 choice. In fact, they put up a reader poll on their website so people could nominate who they thought made the biggest impact. So, ladies, who do you think should get the honor this year?
Michelle Obama. Straight up.
I just started reading Becoming yesterday.
Same here. She sent us her book, you
Yes,
guys.
that's
I already
freaking
ordered
awesome.
it, but thank you so much, Miss Obama. I love, you know how the phrase that says, "You can sit with us"? She was like, she took that and turned around to be like, no, I want to sit with y'all.
Wow.
And what she's been doing to campaign her book and just her conversations that are so personable, exactly like when we met her, she just feels so present with you.
Yeah.
And she's a world changer. She's a leader. She's a mom. She's a cool-ass G. She's great.
Love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she also helped influence the voting, the voting registration for midterms, because with the When We All Vote campaign, she actually added, they say an estimated maybe 4.5 million people registered.
Awesome.
So
Yes,
that was a great impact.
Yes, so great.
Very great impact.
I chose her book for my December book club. I can't wait to read it with everybody. It's so cool.
And she sent it to us yesterday,
Yeah.
so thank you again.
1.4 million sold in a week.
Yeah.
1.4
That shows
million.
impact.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Big impact.
That shows her impact. Mine would honestly be, I saw this clip on the internet, and I'm sure a lot of you guys maybe saw it on Instagram as well, and it was of Ellen Pompeo speaking up for diversity on sets. And I love the fact that she is the highest paid actress on television, and she's using her platform and her privilege to actually demand diversity in the industry and on sets. And we actually have a clip of what she said. I want you guys to check it out if you didn't already see it.
This day has been incredible, and there's a ton of women in the room, but I don't see enough color, and I didn't see enough color when I walked in the room today. And I had a meeting with a director of another endorsement project that I'm doing. I said, you know, when I show up on set, I would like to see the crew look like the world that I walk around in every day.
Yes, girl. You know, it takes
bravery and courage to say that.
And she don't have to say that.
Yeah,
She
she
can
does
sit
not.
there pretty and be like, well, I'm the highest. But she chooses to use her platform and what she has there to make a difference in our world. And that's what it's about. I just thought that was so dope. What you didn't hear in this clip is that she also goes on to say, I think it's up to all productions to make sure your crew looks like the world that we see. As Caucasian people, it's our job, it's our task, it's our responsibility to make sure that we speak up into every single room we walk into, and that it's not okay, and that that this is not okay, and that we can all do better. It's our job because we created the problem.
Oh, wow.
And I gotta say, I love the fact that I walk into my job every single day, and even looking out into our audience, I love what I see.
Yes.
We celebrate diversity. I love the fact that I was a part of a show that's groundbreaking, that they never had a show that looked like this before, and you guys have kept us on air for 5 seasons. Thank you for your support. You are a part of the change. Every time you tune into a show like ours, you are a part of the change. So
I think we also have to realize that Person of the Year could be somebody you don't agree with, and I think they may pick Donald Trump again.
Again? But why?
Yeah. I think they may pick him because his influence, whether you agree with him or not, his influence is causing us to change as people. So maybe you don't like what he's doing, but because you don't like what he's doing, it's making you think differently, it's making you change, and that's an influence as well. So I think they may pick him.
There's some truth to that. because I really wasn't into, politics growing up.
Yeah.
But now I'm researching and I am learning more than ever, and using my voice and making sure that my vote counts. So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
Lana.
we all are.
Yeah.
I think for a while there we were just floating.
Yeah. Kind of like relying, going with the flow.
Yeah.
I know it's early, but I would love to see Meghan Markle as this person.
Okay.
You guys know how much I love the royals.
Yes.
So naturally, but I feel like with the help of the royal family, she has actually brought the royal family to the forefront again and modernized the royal family. And I truly feel like she takes her royal duties seriously, and she wants to make a huge impact, not only in Europe, but in the world.
Yeah.
And she does so in a way where she breaks barriers and traditions, but with strength, beauty, and class. So you love her for breaking the traditions. You're not like, oh my goodness. And she handles backlash so well, because there are people who talk about her, but she doesn't let those people identify or break her focus.
Yeah.
Right.
At
I
her
like
wedding,
her.
she started at her wedding. She had a black choir, which they were called
black
the
preacher
Kingdom
that is still
Gospel Choir.
preaching.
A black preacher who wasn't the Church of England, actually. That was huge. And then she even at one point walked herself down the aisle. Like, that takes some strength.
Breaking tradition.
Yeah, breaking traditions and bravery.
Yeah.
And I just love her.
Well, I
And she's
agree
good.
with you. I think Meghan Markle would be good, and I think it would be nice to also add her mother, Dora Ragland,
Yes.
as
That combo, that duo right there.
They're an amazing duo.
Yeah, they're a
Because
great duo.
you guys got to realize the impact, seriously, that made. And when we're talking about change and diversity and inclusion, to have the Queen of England, we're talking about this is centuries of tradition be broken. And for her mother to stand there alone by herself with dignity and class, it really shows you what can happen when you put two cultures together.
Absolutely.
So that would be a nice, you know who else I would like?
Who?
I just thought about this. The cast of Black Panther. I think they did great.
That's
Black
good.
Panther was a great movie. It made a great influence, a great
great.
impact.
I agree.
I think that
well,
would
we
be good.
asked you guys who you think Time should pick as Person of the Year. At Pinch Glow said, all of the first responders, because they are always there no matter what I do. Thank them and God bless them all. At Alejandra 15 said, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the youngest woman elected.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
She got it, you guys.
I got your name, Alexandria.
She is the youngest woman elected into Congress. That's huge, Latina as well.
Yes.
At Nila Milan said, shoot, me. Not me, her. I worked so hard this year and busted my butt to graduate college this December
All right,
2018.
baby.
I'm just saying. So shout out to Nila Milan. And oh my gosh, wait. At I Am Violet says, the four beautiful ladies of the Rio.
Oh, that's sweet.
That is so sweet.
That's really sweet.
Whoa! Oh, look at that! And this is what our cover would look like. I'm not saying it's not too shabby, not too shabby at all.
I think they might also add the women that were elected into the in Congress.
Yeah,
Yes.
So they may do that too.
Yeah, that's
That would be
why
cool.
that
whole
we talked
squad.
about. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
The first Muslim.
I think another
Yeah.
runner-up could be also director John Chu, the director of Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
Because he's the first person to break that 20-year-long gap that we've had in all Asian casts since Joy Luck Club.
Wow.
And let's be real, it's really hard to make a book as good as the
And it was
movie
good.
as good as the book. I mean, we've
Right.
got Harry Potter and Notebook
it's hard.
as one of the rare ones. Crazy Rich Asians killed it.
So many options.
Yes.
Well, we'll see
so
in December. We'll see in
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a fan of country music, you might put singer Kane Brown on the list. The breakout star has already won 3 American Music Awards and earned a top Billboard 200 spot.
Love this.
But it's his candidness in the recent interview that really got people talking. Kane opened up to People magazine about the fact that he didn't know he was biracial until he was around 7 or 8 years old. Kane, who was born to a white mom and a part Cherokee, part black dad, said that he grew up confused about his racial identity. He said he thought he was full white until one of his classmates called him the N-word at school. Kane admits he still deals with racism in the country music world, but credits his thick skin to helping him get through it.
Wow.
So, ladies,
Wow.
how old were you when you first realized your race?
I remembered what I wasn't when I was growing up, because my friends helped me. Like, I loved the afro, and so my friends helped me, like, go get a perm to get my afro straight. But then, like, when we all lined up for a picture, my pick was the only one that didn't slide in. It just left out on the floor, and I was like, dang, I have a faux fro. This is whack. But, my first encounter with racism was in 7th grade when somebody came and spray painted on my aunt's car a derogatory term that I'm not going to use, but it starts with the word G. And I didn't know what it meant. I was like, I've never seen that. I don't even know what it means, but I just saw the graphic words, and it obviously was a bad thing. And my boy Ronald came up and he was like, oh, damn, y'all got an N-word too. And I knew what the N-word meant, but I didn't know what that meant to us. And when you have that first encounter with racism, for me at that young age, I was shaking. I was like, am I mad? Am I scared? Did we do something wrong? Are we gonna be asked to leave? What's going on? And my aunt pushed me aside and just put down a bucket of soap and water and just started cleaning the thing. And I was like, wait, aren't we gonna get mad about this? Like, do we have to call the police? And she said, Moo, I go to work. And she jumped in the car and went to work. And it made me realize later on that my parents came to this country to raise not a Vietnamese woman, but a strong woman, because a strong woman is going to describe what a Vietnamese woman can look like.
Yeah.
Not to focus on race. And later on, I adapted that. I just moved on, and I don't see color. When I went to my first school dance with Marcus, who was a brother, these girls were laughing. They're like, oh, he got yellow fever? I was like, yeah, and he got high temperature too. Like it was all good.
Doesn't matter.
And so today at a show like this where I have to talk about race, and I also really care because it's obviously out there and it lingers around us, do I get frustrated that my people aren't always the most vocal and don't always make the most noise? But then I think about my aunt that moment, and I realized the focus for my people when they came here was families and goals, because it was a country that allowed it. And so when you look at today, statistics, real talk, we may not make the most noise, but we are silent killers of success. And so it really reflects, yes, it honestly reflects what I think Beyonce's wise words are. Always be gracious, but let revenge be your paper. And that's what speaks for my people. You know what I mean?
Got it. Sam, what about you?
I'm mixed race.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, as I was growing up, I knew that my mom and dad looked differently, but it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
My mom and dad taught us to not focus on color, but to focus on our character. But don't get it twisted. She, taught me about and our family about our black culture. So I grew up knowing that I wasn't confused. I knew that I'm black. However, I didn't realize, because there was so much love in my family, and also we grew up on an army base. So if you grew up in the army, you realize how diverse it is. There's so many different cultures. And it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles in the 5th grade did I realize, like, whoa, something is different. I actually got called the N-word when I was in 5th grade. And it was this girl who was actually my sister and I's friend. And in the winter, I get lighter. You know what I mean? So apparently, I guess she thought I was white. But when she saw my mom come and pick me up from school, she was like, oh, your mom is black? And I'm like, yeah, what of it? And she literally stopped playing with my sister and I. Wow. And we never could, it was shocking, because at that moment, it was the first time I was like, holy crap, the world doesn't see me the way my parents and my dad see me. So it was a wake-up. It was a wake-up call, And I'm just grateful that my mom and dad taught us very, very well that I can pass on that same positive thinking and love for myself and my culture down to my children.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always knew I was black. 'Cause I grew up in the projects. My mama made sure, like, look, you black, and she taught me, you black, I'm gonna press your hair, because you black. But I didn't have a problem with it. I knew I was black. I didn't know I was broke. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in the project. I thought everybody, went to bed
Lives
hungry.
like this.
Everybody go to bed hungry.
Yeah.
I thought nobody had a daddy. And it wasn't until I watched television, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. It was like one of the first reality shows, and it showed Joan Collins, and she was on a yacht, and she had some champagne, and she was eating something called caviar. And I'm like, what the hell is this white woman doing? What is... And then I realized that people lived differently. And then that's when I really had a conversation with my mother. My mother said, yes, there are people that have different types of lifestyles, and we are just in a different type of lifestyle. But if you study and you work hard, you can get to that lifestyle. And that's what I learned from that.
That's really great. I'm with you.
that.
I always knew I was Latina. The only difference is I did recognize that at some point, when you have a parent that doesn't speak the same language, when they go to school or they pick you up from school, I became the translator. And at first when I was younger, because my dad does not speak English, so I would end up being like this after school. Oh, papi, ellos están diciendo que yo necesito hacer esta cosa, whatever it was, like my parent need, I would have to translate. And sometimes that would be a little embarrassing when you're younger. You get embarrassed for being different, and it's so dumb, because I'm so grateful now that I'm bilingual and I celebrate being Latina on a whole other level. And I love it, and it was always celebrated in my house. But when your dad can't join parent-teacher conference, that always made me feel weird. I'd have to sit there and be like, this is what's happening.
Well, you know
this
what?
is the paper that has to get signed.
I wish I knew another language. I love that you know.
And you open it up to us all the time. You teach us so much.